Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah salatu wassalam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. Today we will be looking into the seventh hadith, which is talking about the obligation to act according to the Qur'an. The obligation to act according to the Qur'an. The hadith is of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. And Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم القرآن حجة لك أو عليك. الحديث رواه Muslim. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu narrated that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the Quran is a proof for you or against you, which is reported by Muslim. So this hadith is evidence for the obligation to act according to the Quran and being bound by its orders and its prohibitions. That it is a proof for the one who acts according to it and follows what is in it, and a proof against the one who does not act according to it nor follows what is in it. So one of the Salaf, he said, ما جلس أحد القرآن فقام عنه سالما بل إما أن يربح أو أن يخسر ثم تلا قوله تعالى وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. This ayat is from Surah Al-Isra, verse number 82. So no one sits with the Quran and walks away untouched. Rather, he will either profit or he will lose. Then he recited the saying of Subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means, and we send down of the Quran that which is a healing and mercy to those who believe, and it increases the wrongdoers nothing but loss. So basically, if you ponder over the Quran, you spend time with the Quran, you will benefit from it. So the Quran, it can be for you or against you. So if somebody, the Quran touches it, the Quran touches it. If somebody spends time with the Quran, it will touch it. So if you understand the Quran and you try to follow it, then it is for you. But if you know the Quran and you don't follow it, you leave its rulings and follow your desires, then it will be against you. This is what it means. The great goal of sending down of the Quran is to believe in its information, to act according to it by following its orders and abstaining from its prohibitions. And the purpose of sending it down is not limited to reciting its words with the correct recitation, which is tajweed, in which the reader is adorned with the most beautiful attributes and the most honorable characteristics out of glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being well-mannered with his speech, even if this is desired. So basically, if a person recites the Quran with the proper ahkam of tajweed and with the beautiful recitation, with the manners and etiquettes of the recitation of the Quran, this is something which is desired and this is good. But this is not the intention of the Quran being revealed to us. What is it? However, there is a well-defined recitation which the happiness and success of the worshippers revolves around, and that is following the Quran. Following the Quran. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he mentions the word tilawa, which is a recitation, if it is used like in the Most High statement, الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ يَتْلُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ. So now we are going to look into this issue of يَتْلُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ, which means those to whom we gave the book recited as it should be recited. It takes the meaning of acting according to the Quran, just as the Sahaba and the Tabi'een explained it. Now we will look into the quotes of the Sahaba and the Tabi'een regarding this verse, and specifically يَتْلُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ, which means that it should be recited, recited as it should be recited. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he said, explaining the verse حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ إِنَّ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ أَنْ يُحِلَّ حَلَالَهُ وَيُحَرِّمَ حَرَامَهُ وَيَقْرَأُهُ كَمَا أنزله الله لا يحرف الكلمة عن مواضعه ولا يتأول منه شيئا على غير تأويله ولا يتأول منه شيئا على غير تأويله. So he brings in 5 points. What is the meaning of حق تلاوته? By him in whose hand is my soul. By him in whose hand is my soul. As it should be recited means to make lawful what is made lawful. The first part. The second is to prohibit what is prohibited. The third is to read it as Allah sent down to us, as Allah sent it down. And to not distort the words from its proper places. And to not interpret anything from it with other than its proper interpretation. So these are the 5 points that we need to take care of regarding the haqq of the giving the haqq of the recitation of the Quran. Mujahid, rahimahullah, he said, يَتْلُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ يَتَّبِعُونَهُ حَقَّ اتِّبَاعِهِ. Recited as it should be recited means they follow it as it should be followed. Like this, the righteous predecessors from the nation proceeded. They learned the Qur'an, they acted according to it in every aspect of their lives. Abdullah ibn Masud, he said, if a man from among us learned 10 ayat, he would not pass them until he knew their meanings and acted according to him. Acted according to them. Abu Abdurrahman as-Sulami said similarly, and he is from the major tabi'in. Therefore, it is upon the one reciting and bearing the Quran to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in himself, to be sincere in his recitation, and to act according to it, and to beware of contradicting the Quran, and turning away from its rulings and manners, so that dispraise does not descend upon him. The same way it descended upon whom? Upon the Jews, about whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ حُمِّلُوا التَّوْرَاةَ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَحْمِلُوهَا كَمَثَلِ الْحِمَارِ يَحْمِلُ أَسْفَارًا. Which means the likeness of those who are entrusted with the Torah is as the likeness of a donkey which carries huge burdens of books. And Allah knows best. So with this, the Shaykh ends with the dua. Allahumma rzuqna tilawata kitabik ala al-wajhi alladhi yurdika anna waj'alna ya ilahana mimman yuhillu halalahu wa yuharrimu haramahu wa ya'malu bimuhkamihi wa yu'minu bimutashabihi wa yatluhu haqqa tilawatihi waghfir lana wa liwalidina wa li jamil muslimin. O Allah, grant us recitation of your book in a manner which pleases you. Makes us, O our Lord, from those allow what it allowed and prohibit what it prohibited. From those who allow what is allowed and prohibit what is prohibited. Makes us of those who act according to its clear ayat and believe in those which are not entirely clear. Makes us of those recited as it should be recited, and forgive us, our parents, and all the Muslims. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.